Welcome to the Saturday afternoon edition of Life is About More Than Living, a podcast. My name is Alfred Harrell. I am the host and creator of this podcast. As we all know, and as I've said before, and I'll say it again today, this show is supported in part by my book, Split Souls of Transition. It's available as an audiobook on Spotify, paperback, Apple Apple Books, Google Play Store, a lot of other locations, Amazon. Check it out. Check out the audiobook version on Spotify. The links are in the um, text. Now, today's guest, we're going to take a deep dive and let her introduce herself as we begin talking about a topic I think will be of interest to all of us. And that topic is, as I dive off camera for a second, transformation through resilience. I'll bring my guest on now. Hello again. How you doing? Lighting is
Thank you.
great.
Thank you so much, Alfred, for having me
Thank
on your podcast. It's a
and thank you
pleasure.
for. Go ahead. I'm
Yes.
listening. So sorry. Because it's really my pleasure. Because it's like it's always great to have someone from a different part of the world and speak in a way that we may be able to speak here in America, and to perhaps bring in some of your culture into this short intersection of personalities, I should say. Uh, I chose one of your quotes directly from your website, and please share with them your name because I struggle with other names.
Of course, of course. I've lived in the US and I loved it there, so I know my name is a little bit difficult. It's Meike.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm Meike Bettscheider and I've worked in international leadership and studied at business schools in the US and France. I worked across Europe, Middle East, and North Africa. And
Mm.
today I focus what I actually call prosilience,
Hmm.
meaning going beyond resilience and turning
Wow.
challenges into stepping stones. You know,
Resilience. Mm. That's a good
and
twist in that word.
yeah, I think it's more accurate with how I work and transformation through resilience because resilience usually throws you back. You know,
Hmm.
you endure, but prosilience embraces kind of the change, takes the anxiety away. And I
Hmm.
actually lived it myself because right now I'm in Greece since 1 year
Hmm.
and I moved here with just 3 suitcases and completely
Mm.
starting over. And
Mm.
I've lived the power of change myself because
Mm.
I hadn't, you know, I had no clue from the language there. I didn't have
Hmm.
any contacts. But I think it's important because I support people in the most critical moments, whether it's 24/7 crisis management, I want to be there for them, or offsites where we go through a transformation of their usual place.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that's my passion. I want to help people in crisis.
So really, the word when I use the word transformation in the title of this episode, it's really about, in my opinion, hearing you speak, giving people tools to transform themselves into who they may desire to be, discover who they really are, then make that leap, as you call it, prosilience, um, into that journey, such as you said, 3 bags, you arrive there, not really knowing the language and culture. Uh, a leap of, someone like me who says a big leap of faith. You just jumped off that mountain and you knew you had some wings, but you hoped they were open and you could fly.
Yeah, you never
Yeah,
know.
what a
You
parachute, we could work. Yeah. So I went into your website somewhat, and when I saw you make retreats available, if I understand things correctly, you work with couples as well as groups,
yes.
as well as individuals.
Mhm.
Uh, let's tie that word for resilience in with each aspect, from the individual to the couples to the groups to landing them perhaps in one of your retreats. But those of us who have not traveled may want to do something like that.
Yes, I think it's definitely worthwhile. because it's always a combination to be
Hmm.
stepping out of your known place.
Hmm.
People call it comfort zone where you know everything, but sometimes we figure out the comfort zone is not the comfort zone because we are frustrated, we don't feel really comfortable. So sometimes, of course, change or to step into action to get out of change, it's about emotions. It's about what maybe do we lose or what do we have to let go of. And so I think it needs a push, but it's a good thing. Just I think I tell everyone, be curious, because as children we were curious. We didn't think about risk and what could be, and we explored, right? So
Hmm.
for change or transformation, we need to remind ourselves a little bit about that and create awareness about our qualities. And if you are away from home in a safe environment, a different environment, it feels easier to open up. And yeah, so for me to find the blind spots, to give the safe space and help the people, yeah, to embrace actually the next steps and be prepared for challenges, knowing their own qualities instead of being exhausted from being
Hmm.
resilient, if
Hmm.
that makes sense.
So, what is one thing that you include as far as helping people to make that step? What is one thing you suggest for someone like myself? I might be the guinea pig. So if I wanted to take another leap um, into, let's say, I'm currently exploring how to create digital products for my Linktree account, and I'm going like, man, I don't know, because I'm not tech savvy, and I know it can be done through apps, but in the end of the day, there's a market for those types of things. I have with my show, I often highlight my book, which I did off camera, repart two on camera. I can take segments of that and convert it to digital product. But the hindrance has been, like you said, you help people to make that leap. For someone like, what could you say to me to help me make that leap from I want to do it to I have to do it?
So I think there is like an easy change where you can try, get feedback, and
Mm-hmm.
improve. And there's hard change, like
Mm-hmm.
decisions like that, because it feels hard for you. You want it, but something holds you back. So I would
Mm-hmm.
ask you the question, if you say yes to that, what is the background? What is the question you have to let go? You have to say no to it. Just think about it.
I'm, I,
And
I, I'm laughing because even with the podcast, I had to let go of being a blogger to do a podcast, and I was custom type it out, write it out, spell check, post it, and then I went over and like they could hear my voice, so I had to get comfortable with my voice being heard with the southern accent. So when it goes back to what I brought up, you asked the question, what is it? Simply, I've never done it before. I mean, as you mentioned, children having that curiosity. Yes, children have that curiosity. We're kids, but as adults, there's something I can't explain that happens to us where the fear overrides the curiosity.
yeah,
Maybe
and
that's why I want you here.
the fear, the fear hinders us actually. And people feel the fear. People you work with or people you try something out. So that doesn't help. And everyone, it got a buzzword or became a buzzword. Be yourself, be
Hmm.
authentic. Yeah,
Hmm.
but do we really know, who we are? And that's also approach um, in my work. And I use a specific tool, which
Hmm.
might sound surprising for people. It's face reading.
Yeah,
Um,
what exactly is that? Because I didn't want to die. I didn't know how to even bring that
yeah,
into the
I know,
conversation.
I know, because people are like, what is that? So let me explain. It's a science, it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing esoteric, and it doesn't have to do anything with micro expressions,
Mm-hmm.
mimics, gestures, performance, learn how to, no.
Mm-hmm.
We are born with individual features, talents, qualities. Then life
Mm-hmm.
happens, our background, culture, job, school,
Mm-hmm.
partners, whatever. And we form our personality. And through that being shaped, we lose touch to our original qualities and talents. And face reading helps with that. So it's never judgmental, it's always pointing out the qualities and talents in people. And if you live your qualities, you can also see it in the face. It's harmonized, it's glowing. Face changes if you
Mm-hmm.
live your qualities. So, and that helps me to point out or to create awareness for the people to say, how do you live these talent and qualities? And then it's easier to dig deeper because sometimes they say, oh, I had that as a kid. I was interested in that. That's true. Or somebody told me, or I'm not aware of that. Because very often we follow a career path. We think, our parents, our friends, the culture, and it's no judgment. It's the best, but it's not along our qualities. I can make an example, because if you see just a little bit here, I have these.
Mm-hmm.
It's going a little bit in, and I
Mm-hmm.
start in the banking industry. And when you
Mm-hmm.
have these, you're not good with numbers, you know.
Mm. Okay. Face
So
reading. Okay.
the
Yeah.
the high, the high forehead, it tends to overthink things.
Mm-hmm.
Combined with this little hole here,
Mm-hmm.
speaks for perfectionism. So there's always some tensions. If you're aware of that, you know how to handle it, and at the same time, you know where your strengths are living. It's in your face, and maybe you can find the right collaborations, you can find a better communications, and you can follow your qualities, in your career path. And it just, by creating awareness, I get with my clients into maybe wrong beliefs they have. And that comes all back to the fear of being authentic. First, you have to know who you really are. So, where your
Mm-hmm.
qualities lie, or your resources when you're
Mm-hmm.
stressed. Maybe you're very like a musician, or you have,
Mm-hmm.
even if you can't do it in your work or in your profession, oh, okay, I do it in my free time to gain energy to go to the challenges in my profession. Things like that. And then you can more easily dare to be authentic. Because why do we have the fear of being authentic? Because we think, what if I show my real self? What would the
Mm.
people say, And the fear is
Mm-hmm.
real. The people might wondering, okay, is she, am I too weak? Am I too emotional? You know, don't they take me seriously if I'm being myself? But if you focus on
Oh,
your qualities,
oh. Yeah, I'm right there with you, but I'm gonna double back because this is something I never thought about until you mentioned it, and maybe
mhm,
others haven't thought about it either. Our We often think I've said it, and other people said it. We think about body language, but we fail to realize what you mentioned about those internal stresses actually affect our physical features, such as our face, which is their face reading. I could relate to that when you were speaking on it, because for people who work in construction and they wear the hard hats, or the firefighters with their hard hats, that type of level of stress and the equipment causes a shift in their physical features. I know because I've been there and done that. Uh, I never thought about it in context of what you're saying, like the banking industry. Our internal stresses, or I guess you could say, not being truly content with where you're at or who you are, affects how we, I want to say that word, age. But according to what you're saying, it begins to show up in the face. According to what
absolutely.
you're saying.
It's not really about, we all age, our face
Right.
and physique
Yeah,
will
but those things are showing
but
up according to what you said in our
Mhm.
features.
Exactly. So sometimes we see people, they have an asymmetric mouth, that's something
Mm-hmm.
we all see immediately. So one side is more like closed, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can see, okay, there must be some emotionally stress. It depends,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
we can work on that, to because life, yeah, we see life in our face, and not just with aging, but also
Mm-hmm.
where is some tension, where is maybe the mind not
Mm-hmm.
aligned with the gut, and we should
Yeah.
take, we should be aware of that and ask
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's why I said I wanted to bring you on also because of that. Because because in the work that you do, you help people to go there and to understand that.
Yeah.
Um, and let's go back to that. That's people in general.
Hmm.
Now, as far as applying this to perhaps hypothetically couples,
Hmm.
um, if or I say a group setting. So if this was a group setting, let's say three, four, five people, um, would that be like a group exercise you would do, or would you take people separately and do it? How would you
It's
go about that?
yeah, it's a mixture actually, because
Okay.
so it will be one-on-one sessions,
Mhm.
and then also the group sessions, so that they
Mhm.
can learn from each other, that they get new perspectives, and
Okay.
it's always a mixture, and also
Mhm.
some silent time. So not overdoing it, but just
Mhm.
think about and let it sink in,
Mhm. But that's why I want to go there. I'm choosing to go where I'm going specifically because you have built a business, and several of my guests I've had on as of late, I have found myself making sure I promote their business, especially when they're able to connect with people through like the websites and things of that sort. When I first started doing the live versions of my podcast, I wasn't into that so much. But now I'm realizing that I'm just a medium. This show is just a medium. And I could talk all day, I could analyze, I could ask you a gazillion questions. But for people to really benefit, they need to tap into what you're offering. And for some people, this will be what they need. Uh, and some it won't be because they'll still be in what I call denial. Uh, that's the same as the guest I brought on before you, cybersecurity and human behavior. Uh, some chimed in on it, but at the end of the day, I'm hearing what you're saying as being something that we all need in some context. In some context, we all, I say, man, we all people in general who truly want to get in touch with who they really are to benefit from what you're bringing out. Because I am mobile today, I'm gonna keep this shorter than most episodes because I need to go back to work. This currently is not paying me. Uh, I don't mind saying that, but it's not cutting you short because you gave your time today. I want to. So with that being said, let's branch off into something beyond the face reading, such something beyond the group settings. Let's go back to what you talked about: prosilience versus resilience, which all of us call. It's hardly a person who hasn't pushed for something, whether it's an athlete, whether it's an educator, that's taking a measure of resilience. But now you achieve this thing. Let's go back to what you call prosilience, how to maintain the momentum. That's what I'm thinking it is. Prosilience again. Take it a little
Yes,
bit deeper on your explanation of it, please.
yes, of course. So we all know what resilience is. And
Right.
when we're in a crisis, because most of the time I work with people who are right now in a transformation or in a
Hmm.
crisis. And sometimes you just need to take the time and say, okay, let's use that, you know, turn it around, change your perspective, think
Hmm.
again, what are your qualities? Go back to that, look into yourself. And
Suppose
I
you don't
will
know what your qualities are. I mean, I'm gonna cut you off. Suppose you really don't know. Suppose you only know what someone's told you your qualities are. How would you discover what your qualities are?
through my face reading, because it's in
Okay. Okay.
Yes, in the
Okay.
face, I can
Okay.
remind them, you know,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then we can work on that and we can see, okay, I'm here. That's the second part of it, of my work, is really to be there
Mm-hmm.
24/7 for them so they can reach out. We can work to really change the pattern. First, figure out what's the pattern, what might be maybe the blind spot they don't see,
Mm-hmm.
what is the wrong belief we all might
Mm-hmm.
have,
Mm-hmm.
and be there with them, you know,
Okay.
going through that and change themselves to have the prosilience, meaning seeing the change and the challenges
Mm-hmm.
as a milestone for the future and not being in anxiety, being in fear, and just surviving the challenge and being prepared because they're aware of their resources and their qualities for next challenge. Because life, we all have challenges, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we don't have them, we will have one eventually. Eventually, we will.
Yeah.
This is really, yeah, we're doing good time. We're right at almost at 30 minutes. Um, and this is another thing I'm also working on too, because my audience, you mentioned in the emails about my audience, my, my audience varies from the 25 to 30 somethings up around the mid 50s. I'm almost 63. So people start jumping off that ledge and not really being my audience in their 60s. But then again, there are some who are coming back on round, paying attention because there are people like myself. We're embracing our 60s as the next level, as the next place we want to go. And we have a freedom to do things we didn't have in our 20s, 30s, and 40s. We have more flexibility to move. So we need individuals such as yourself, as well as other resources to help us to get to this next phase. And because the average person is living longer, yeah. So I'm hoping this resonates with some people in this, more people in this area. Uh,
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
gonna close this out with your closing thoughts, and that's gonna be it. I stopped doing. I'm gonna tell you like I tell everyone else, and all my guests as of late. I'm keep on saying it. I'm not doing the off-camera exit anymore. We're gonna close it out with you, the guest, letting people know how they can find you. In addition to what's in the link, and your sincerity has already came through. You're genuine. You really care about people.
I
Uh,
do. Thank
and
you.
I'm gonna let you take us home. Close this out for us. Your
So,
final
yeah,
words and thoughts.
thank you so much for having me. And I do, even though I'm here in Greece, I lived all over the world, and
Hmm.
I do online sessions. I'm here, you know, and I
Okay.
really want to help people to find back to their path or find their path. And yeah, to change fear into curiosity, and
Hmm.
it's important in nowadays.
Okay. So do you accomplish just by yourself or with a team?
I work by
Is
myself, but the
okay.
retreat, the offsites, I have a team. Yeah.
Okay. That's a major thing there because dealing with multiple people need more
Absolutely.
SS. Uh,
Yeah.
appreciate y'all for tuning in to this episode of Life is About More Than Living a Podcast. With my guest today, Okay, God, I struggle with names, but that's okay.
Meike. Oh, good.
Mike.
Meike.
Anyway, catch the replays on YouTube. I will post some reels based on this content, this show today, and y'all just have a great weekend. I thank her for coming on this time of the day, her time, because it's like 12:30, 12:30 roughly here in the U.S. Eastern Standard Time. You have a great weekend, a great week, and I appreciate you again. Bye bye.
Bye.